Hey guys, what's up? Nan here with a new video. This is my 3.21 Crucible League starter. I'm gonna play a Minion Army Necromancer, a build that I have been improving for these past 4 leagues. A small build overview before we jump into a tier 16 Wrath of the Cosmos map. In terms of defenses, we have Determination for endurance charges, shock immunity, block and spell block cap with glancing blows, cast when damage taken molten shield. Quite nerfed this league, but it's still good to have. Phasing, a whole army of minions that allow us to play safe, and around 130% bonus movement speed and up to 175 bonus movement speed with the Nico Pact with energy nodes. In terms of DPS, we have 2.5 million single target, and for the clear we are using Soul Eater Frost Auto Scouts. Let's jump into a tier 16 map. Okay boys, this is our tier 16 map with Wrath of the Cosmos, and we're also running Blights and the Nico Pact with energy nodes. Let's see how this 100 to 200 Chaos build handles this Wrath of the Cosmos tier 16 map. As you guys can see, we have okay DPS, we are decently fast, we don't really need to do that much, our minions are gonna handle pretty much everything. All that you need to do is cast your skeletons. Whenever you happen to see some packs of rare or magic monsters, you should cast your punishment curse as well. But we have enough damage on a budget of only 200 chaos. Now you can assemble this build for as little as 100 chaos, but if you do decide to invest a little bit more, you're gonna get some extra chaos resistance, right? So you don't need a whole divine to assemble this league starter. You can assemble it as soon as 50, maybe 100 chaos, but if you do happen to acquire a little bit of extra currency, my recommendation would be to buy some better items, for example some rings. As you can see, we have some chaos resistance here, we also have a chaos resistance here, right? We are decently tanky and our damage is also okay, right? Our minion survivability, at least when it comes to the zombies, is really not that great. I have tried to focus as much on adding quality of life features to this league starter and the defenses for our character. Now in the 3.21 league, this build is gonna be slightly nerfed in terms of defenses. Molten Shell has got a nerf of around 50%, right? But you do have a cast on death portal support right here, as you can see, and if you do happen to catch the occasional one shot, maybe if you engage with a lot of altars, you're not gonna waste your time because you're gonna spawn exactly where you died, right? So you're not gonna have any issues there. So let's complete this map, and then we're also gonna run the Blight encounter. And so as you can see, I have not used my Val summon skeletons up until this point, and we still had enough damage. My recommendation would be to try to save up your Val summon skeletons for when you fight the Blight encounter or when you fight the map boss. Now, compared to my other videos, I'm a little bit dizzy because I am really sick, right? So, you know, not feeling the best. But as you can see, the build is doing more than okay. And we can quite comfortably farm tier 16 maps without any issues. Okay, so let's try to fight the map boss, and then we're also gonna take a look and see how this build handles tier 16 Blight encounters, right? And we have use the Gilded Blight Scarab, which is around 5 chaos, and you know the total cost of this build is around 200 chaos. So you're not gonna have any issues farming juiced Blight content. Okay, so this is gonna be our map boss. You're gonna cast your punishment curse. Try to also cast your Val summon skeletons, and once the boss reaches 50% HP, you're gonna notice that he starts taking more and more damage. That is because of the punishment curse. Okay. As you can see, no issues taking down a tier 16 map boss on a budget of 100 to 200 chaos. Now let's complete the Blight encounter. This one, as you can see, quite simple. We have spawned multiple lanes that converge into a single lane. The strategy for these Blight encounters is gonna be to use an empowering tower in the middle, and you're also gonna place a fireball tower which you're gonna upgrade into a meteor tower, and you could also go with chilling towers and maybe a seismic tower as well. And this is pretty much all that you need to do. Besides that, try to open a portal, because sometimes Blight encounters crash your game, right? So do open a portal, and you don't really need to do that much because your minions and the meteor tower are gonna handle these Blight encounters without any issues. When it comes to the anoints, my recommendation would be to go Meteor Towers, create Burning Ground for 3 seconds on hit, and besides that you're gonna go with the Chilling Towers, freeze enemies for 0.2 seconds while they are affected by Chilling Beams. Okay, so let's add another Seismic Tower here, also another Chilling Tower. And what we're trying to do here is we want to block them and stun them with the Vaal Summon Skeletons, with the minions, with the freezing and the chilling towers, and our burning ground that is created by the meteor towers is gonna destroy pretty much everything. And you know, after around 1 minute, maybe 2 minutes, depending on how much your Blight encounter will last, you're gonna get quite a lot of currency, right? You're gonna need an average of around 4-5 Blight encounters to make 100-200 Chaos back, right? So after only 4-5 Gilded Blight Scarabs, you're gonna recoup the cost of your build, right? So let's see what we're gonna get here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 blighted maps, right? These are 10 to 15 Chaos at league start, so 60 Chaos there. Okay, and we have a lot more here. Okay, so 120 Chaos so far, let's say, more or less, and you know, a little bit of Chaos here and there, some Ghastly Eye Jewels. We also have some contracts, so Deception, 10 Chaos, 10 Chaos, Demolition, right? So as you guys can see, this build is gonna be able to handle 316 maps without any issues. Please keep in mind that this build shines in Blight encounters. Before I show you the Atlas skill tree, let's take a quick look at the POB. Okay boys, and this right here is our level 91 POB. Let's take a quick look at the configuration tab. Standard boss, enemy on low life because we're using the punishment curse. Endurance charges, we have 4. Our minions have onslaught because we are speccing into Ravenous Horde, and besides that we have used the minion skill recently. This is gonna be your Animate Guardian gear, Lyricast Mask, Dying Breath Staff, Windscreen Boots, Vulnerability on Hit Corrupted Gloves. This is really nice for a single target, and Ambush Charge Armor. Let's take a quick look at the tree, the same build that I have shown you in the previous link. There's gonna be a few small changes. For example, this mastery right here has been removed in the 3.21, so you can assemble this character as soon as level 70. You don't really need all of these points. You're gonna have no issues completing white and yellow tier maps once you get your Tabula Rasa and a trigger wand. And besides that, there's really not a lot to tell you when it comes to this build. It's the same build that I have shown you in the previous league. A really basic, simple Minion Army Necromancer with rare items, life and resistance. We are using Unending Hunger Cobalt Jewels, which are gonna make our Frost Auto Scouts go absolutely insane with Soul Eater. Really nice to have. And besides that, we have a small cluster jewel with Enduring Composure, which is gonna give us endurance charges if we have been hit recently. Now you should also use Maw of Mischief, because playing minions with their basic AI is really not that great. You want your minions to be aggressive. What you could do if you don't know how to properly position your minions, which is really not that hard, all that you need to do is, let's take a quick look in the game. If you want for your minions, for example, to go left, all that you need to do is cast Vaal Summon Skeletons to the left, and if you want them to go right, you cast your skeletons to the right. Top, as you can see, so the minions are going wherever you cast your skeletons. Now their basic AI is really not gonna be that aggressive, so you do want to have a Maw of Mischief, and until you get this helmet, which is around 30-40 Chaos after day 4, day 5 of the league, you're gonna have to manually position your minions by using the skeletons. But once you get your Maw of Mischief, they're gonna be aggressive by default. So this item right here is really important, and my recommendation would be to buy it as soon as possible. Don't try to buy it in day 1 or 2 because it's quite expensive, around 100 Chaos. But after day 4, day 5 of the league, I would say definitely go for Maw of Mischief. This is really nice to have. As you can see, we have a trigger wand, really nothing special here. Life and resistance items, life and resistance, life and resistance. If you do happen to have some extra currency, my recommendation would be to go for some Chaos resistance as well. As you can see, we have a 62% Chaos resistance, which is really nice. This is the exact same setup that I had at the end of week 1 of the 3.20 league. I had a lot of fun and I was able to farm quite a lot of currency with this setup. I was farming around 2.5 divines a profit per hour, which is really nice. Please keep in mind your effective hit pool is gonna be a little bit smaller. You're not gonna have 60k, you're probably gonna be closer to 40-45k because Molten Shell has received a nerf of around 50%. Once you do happen to get an extra 100 chaos, my recommendation would be to anoint Ravenous Horde, and this is gonna save around 6 points, as you can see, right? So with these extra 6 points, what you could do is for example, you could spec into this jewel right here, and let's try to add a red nightmare, and we're gonna try to go for true block, guys. Okay, so we had the level 91, and now we're gonna add the red nightmare jewel here, and we're gonna spec out of glancing blows, and as you can see we have around 49-39 block. What we can do is we can spec into these nodes right here as well, right? And you're gonna have quite a lot more block chance, as you can see, 49 and 55, and you also have some other block nodes right here. So let's see what level. We're level 90. Okay, so let's say that we stop here, or if we do try to spec here, we're gonna get less block chance. However, we're gonna get a little bit more elemental resistance, right? So these are gonna be your two options to scale a little bit more into block chance, and as you can see, you're gonna gain a lot more effective HP, right? But Ravenous Horde is really nice to have during mapping. I would much rather take the occasional death than have slow minions. So my recommendation is try to anoint Ravenous Horde on your amulet, and after that you can start specking a little bit into these block noise right here, and spec out of glancing blows. It's a lot better to have true block, and as you can see we have 70% spell block and 49%, but you know, this is a little bit inflated. So let's remove these nodes right here. You're gonna have somewhere around 50-55 block chance, which I would say is really nice. Your effective HP pool again is gonna be a little bit smaller, but the build is gonna feel pretty much the same compared to the previous league, because when you're gonna block the hits, you're not gonna take any damage compared to when you're using glancing blows. As you can see, your effective HP pool goes down quite a lot because you are taking 65% of blocked hits, right? So after you manage to anoint Ravenous Horde, remove these points, add a Red Nightmare Crimson Jewel, and spec a little bit into these points right here that are gonna give you some really nice block chance. You're gonna find two versions of this build on the POV Vault website. This is not gonna be a full build guide, this is more of a build showcase. If you do wanna see the full build guide, you can take a look at the video that I have made in the previous league. It's gonna be linked in the pinned comment of this one. I have gone into, you know, extreme detail with every class that you're gonna have to use in each and individual item, and how to level up this build, and also how to do the pathing and everything that you could need. If you're a newer player, you can watch that video. However, I know that most of you guys that are gonna go with this build, all that you need is a POB. What I do want to show you is the Atlas skill tree. We're gonna run Blights, we're gonna run Heist, we're gonna block some of these nodes right here to get a little bit more of these heists, which are really nice. So we're gonna spec into this so that we can get those really nice expensive deception contracts, which we can sell. In the previous map we got 2, they are 10-12 kills at the start of the league, really nice. We're gonna go with the Trial of Glory, we're gonna go with Nico packed with energy nodes and the mining byproducts. So we're gonna sell resonators, quite a lot of currency just from these 4 nodes right here, absolutely insane. And obviously we're gonna go with the Wrath of the Cosmos. Now this right here is gonna make your maps really rewarding but really hard. You're also gonna get the occasional one-shots when you happen to give the map bosses or the enemies a lot of extra of random element, and specifically extra chaos is absolutely insane. But I did add a custom death portal to the build, right? We have some really nice quality of life features. We also have a phasing flask, we also have a phase run, so you're not gonna have that high of a chance of getting hit and one shot, but if it does happen, no issues, you have a custom death portal. I would say that this is the perfect Atlas skill tree, and I know that at the start of the league you're not gonna have enough currency to buy Gilded Blight Scarabs. What you could do is instead of fully specking, for example, into these nodes right here, maybe you could drop these, or you could maybe drop some of the Kirak nodes, and instead you're gonna spec into the chance for blight encounters. As you can see, you have these nodes right here, and you're also gonna spec into stream of consciousness, guys, right? So you're gonna spec out of these nodes right here, you're gonna spec into stream of consciousness, and you're gonna spec into a fungal bloom, which is gonna give you increased chance to get blight encounters. You're gonna have around a 50% chance to get blight encounters and heist contracts, which are gonna be really nice. I am gonna list both Atlas skill trees in the pinned comment of this video. And we've reached the end of the video. Check the pinned comment for both POBs and for the Atlas skill trees that work really well with this build. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. If you want to see a full build guide, you can find that in the pinned comment of this video. I have done a full build guide, everything explained in the previous league. I would recommend that you watch that video only if you are new or if you've never played the minion build before. This is a really simple, fast and efficient build that you can use to complete your Atlas and farm your first 10, 20, 30 divines by running Blights and Wrath of the Cosmos in tier 16 maps. I wish you a great league start, thank you for watching, good luck as always, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.